All right. Good evening, everybody. Some of you probably may not remember these streams, but one of the things I was trying to do is something that's a little bit more laid back and something that we could maybe put on. The main thing that a lot of people have said is they really do enjoy listening to the stream while they're trying to go to sleep, or that they'll fall asleep to the stream. And one of the things that I wanted to try and do was sort of a set of more relaxed games and streams, which would maybe let people just take it easy, maybe deliberately keep something on in the background. And I thought Surviving Mars is a really good choice for this because I like this game quite a bit, and it's got a very relaxing soundtrack. It's something where you can sort of afford to take your time. And I also found it really good for sort of trying to talk myself off the ledge in terms of just some difficulty that I was having at work and such. Now, you'll notice from the times, the last time I did one of these was February. I don't remember if this was February or January, so it's been quite some time since I've had a chance to record one of these. I actually did another one, and I ran out of space on my hard drive, and so that episode was lost. And I've just been finding things really busy. So what we're going to be doing is we'll be jumping back into the Blue Sun Corporation. We'll see if we can find our way on the current mission, and we'll have a little bit of fun colonizing Mars. We do have the Green Planet update coming out. Now, I haven't heard anything from the people who normally reach out to me about Surviving Mars, so there's no promises in terms of whether or not the save is going to be compatible with some later episode, or later, sorry, it's not going to be, I don't know if it will be compatible with some later patches or that, but so far as I can tell, we'll be sticking with what we've got here right now. One thing I did want to mention is I'm actually playing this on my new monitor. One thing that's changed from the last time that I played this game is I've now got a bigger monitor with a higher resolution, 1440. Now, obviously that hasn't translated into the existing video. In fact, one of the things that caused me a little bit of trouble last time was I was trying to record a high resolution and a low resolution version of this game. And it seems that that caused me to run out of space, so we decided we'd turn everything up. It's a wonderful looking game. I've never really been able to see it like this, but obviously it's a 60 frame video for the rest of you. Now, like I said, it's been a while since we played this game, so let's take a quick minute and see what the situation currently is. I know we were trying to build a bit of a manufacturing base. We've got some expansion plans. I know I've got some sort of natural extensions in terms of sort of science and metals and whatnot, and we've certainly got our scanning priorities out of the way, but let's just maybe take a quick look. What do we need for inputs? What are we looking at in terms of habitability? What are some ways that we can make our colonists a bit happier, a bit more productive? I think we were running behind a little bit on technology, or I was hoping to do a bit more. Yes, actually that was going to be what this site was for. I think there might have been a way I'd be able to get this overlapping three locations, but basically taking some time, seeing if there's some ways that I could more efficiently build my base and just generally do better in terms of the overall well-being of the colony. So the Hyperion 1 is currently fully refueled. It's gathering some more exports. Now, I think I needed to manually control some of my drones in order to be able to get this properly done. I also noticed that I've currently got some waste. Actually, that's all piling up. So I think some of the things that I might want to be taking a look at for the next little while is the depreciation of some of my buildings. I might want to be taking a look at my drone load, see if we can maybe build some more, or if there's something else that we can get out of them. And then what I might also want to be considering is my power load for when we've got dust storms, because right now I've been relying a lot on solar. I've also been relying quite a bit on the Stirling generators, but of course the Stirling generators are going to have some problems during a dust storm. I'm going to have to close them up and their power output is going to be lower. So, like I said, the whole point of these streams is to take things slow, to just sit back and smell the roses. Oh, that's right. I had a special team that was dedicated to the waste as well. So let's just take a quick minute. The easiest thing for me to do is to build some more dumping sites. I also am going to need a minute to just relearn the controls of the game. Oh, don't do that. Oh, that was a little inefficient the way that I built that, but that's fine. Alright, now, this is definitely falling apart as far as its depreciation is concerned. Now, we've got metals, and the hub's definitely able to access it. Interesting. Well, they're going to decide to load that up when they can, so I won't worry too much about that. The deposit. Still got plenty of water left. I mean, at some point we are going to need to consider an alternative source of water. What we'll probably just wind up doing here is extending out the pipe, and maybe by that time we'll have another set of drone base set up. Here we've got a vista. Now this increases the comfort, so that's not too high of a priority right now. Alright, so for now I think we're going to say that we're happy in terms of the existing infrastructure. We'll maybe wait for the remaining buildings and whatnot. Should probably take a look. I believe these require machine parts. Now I don't think we have a way of actually building machine parts. And I should also see whether or not we are refining any of our goods into electronics. So we might want to have some more human resources. We might have some more colonists come in. But like I said, we'll consider all of that in the future, because one of the things that I'd like to work on a little bit is my technology. So the ability to gain access to more and more of these is a pretty big deal for me. Right now we're getting 300 per sol, and so essentially it's every 5 days. And I generally feel a little bit better if we were able to sort of advance that a bit. There's definitely some technologies that I'd like to get access to, especially sort of efficiency improving ones. So if we can do something to improve my technological output, that will definitely be a big boon. Of course, we do need money to operate as well, so I'm not going to lose sight of that. Now, I wonder, normally it should give me an overview in terms of what our... so we don't do any production. So we use 1.4 in maintenance, 2.8. So essentially we're good for about 15 days on these things. And I think what we're eventually going to want to do is to build an industrial base such that we're going to be able to cover our electronics requirements. So essentially what we're looking for right now, we're generating 1.4, or we are, it says that we require 1.4 in terms of maintenance, but we are producing 6.8, so that's actually that's a pretty good rate. The next thing I'd probably want to do is focusing on building machines. Machine parts. That's another refined good which I'll require citizens to work on. I suppose what interests me here is apparently I decided to build a bunch of individual living quarters as opposed to apartments. I'm a little curious about why I decided to do that. Oh, that's because we've got a passage coming through. So, the Sustainability 1 dome. In this particular case, we haven't hooked it up to any electricity or water yet, so we're not going to do anything with that. And I think we're in decent enough shape here. So I think what I wanted to do was get my soil quality up. In this case, we're just going to be growing soybeans for a little while. Now, this is because we've got a lot of food already. And so one of my key priorities is obviously to make this colony self-sustaining. But in this particular case here, there's really no reason for me to rush onto high output crops just because, you know, again, this is sort of that building up phase. Alright, so I think one thing I'd like to take a quick look at is to see whether or not we have any buildings. Alright, so it looks like we could use some more doctors. We could also use some security. I'm interested in the fact that the Martian University has stopped their shifts. Interesting. Well, it makes sense. We definitely need engineers. We're currently training... Okay, this is the infirmary, so we definitely need 2 more medics. We're actually running out of space in the primary dome. Yeah, so we definitely have a few people. I think I am going to reopen this. Oh, drat. I actually think we'll do auto just because I think I trust the AI to handle this. Okay, so we've got a bunch of living quarters, and that's good news there. And currently the space bar does not have enough workers. Now we're probably going to exacerbate that problem with opening up the Martian University again. But I think if we bring another batch of people in, that might be a way that we can recover that. Okay, so we're going to have a rocket launch before too long. Got to keep an eye on the robots generating exports because I want to make sure that it all goes towards one location. I suppose the only place they can get them is from here though, so as long as I keep an eye on that, I'll be happy. We just need 4 more. Alternatively, we can just, you know, now that I think of it, we might as well just launch it now. Because in the end, it's the rate. We have already got a bunch of containers in here. The rate at which we're generating it is, you know, it's not going to change. So I think we'll just stick with that for now. Okay. So if I can, I think my priority is going to be to try and make a Site B in the middle of all of these areas. Now this is going to be very challenging for me because I need to make sure I've already got a big dome already available here. We obviously don't want that to go to waste, but essentially this is going to be my manufacturing hub. And then we're going to find a way of connecting to this area here. We'll probably wind up doing that with an underground passage. And, oh, it looks like my frame rate is actually quite a bit lower than I was planning. That's a bit of a shame. I'm going to have to take a look at OBS and see if I can fix that. So I apologize if this doesn't quite look the way that it's supposed to for all of you. Okay. Well, for now, I'm going to keep an eye on what's happening at the mines here, and we'll watch watch our spaceship launch. One of my weaknesses at the moment is I'm very reliant on polymers, and I don't have a good way of producing them. And polymers aren't actually produced inside of one of these domes, so that's going to be another consideration that I have. But I'm not going to make that my highest priority, and the reasoning for that is that if I need only one import, I can manage that. Right now, I've got a fairly decent way of acquiring things like metal. In fact, we can send our resource gatherer to go pick those up right now. So rare metals will be something that it'll be something that we create electronics from. Yeah, great. We've got a nice full university. We may need to relocate this after a while just to take advantage of the rest of the concrete, but we've got a big surplus, so I'm not too worried about that at the moment. As far as load is concerned, so it looks like most of my drone hubs are in decent shape. This one could use a few more workers, but nothing I really want to go too far about. I'm going to be interested in seeing what happens when the night comes. I want to see what happens with my electricity. I think the one thing I should worry a little bit about is nighttime with some kind of a storm going on. This is actually why I've been switching into wind power, even though wind power would actually be better suited around here. So as a hypothetical, let's say we wanted to build a research site. So this is 20%, 20%, 20%, and that's 10%. So we'll say we want to build a dome. Oh, not a dome service. We want to build a dome. I do like the barrel domes. Yeah. So obviously I'd need to put a drone commander there. Now, let's think first of all about how we would connect the two areas. So a tunnel. So the tunnel entrance and exit can connect power and life support grids at different locations and different elevations. Rovers can travel along the tunnels and reach places they otherwise couldn't. So of course this means that I can also probably connect. I don't even need to worry about water sources and whatnot. So this is going to cost me 30 machine parts, 20 metal, and 20 concrete. This is the sort of thing that I would actually need to make a special import in order to be able to work with. But that's fine. That's just going to be something. In fact, what I'll do right now is I'm going to come up with my wish list of all of the things that I would like for this base. So we'll put I've got machine parts. So we've got two. Okay. 2 medics.
Resources are low.
Oh,
Sector scanned.
I don't really believe that food is that low. Well, to say food consumption is 22. So in 4 days, we'll get 44. Interesting. So essentially, actually this will be I don't think we have smart complexes. I should really start thinking about bringing tourists in as well. I think that was what I was I think that's what all those living quarters were about. So yeah, food might be a little bit more of a problem than I thought it would be. I feel like it should give me some ideas in terms of what's being used. So we've got basic resources, but it doesn't have rates, I guess. So let's say we consume 22 a day. It is definitely going up, so we'll say we consume 22 a day. That definitely means I want to build another farm, and pretty quickly. Now with that in mind, I'm still going to be improving the crops. If we do wheat will generate us. Interesting.
Funding received.
Oh, great. Okay. So in terms of rates, we get... Nope. Looks like... Okay, well, I'm okay. Oh, 2 buildings not working. It's just because they don't have enough to staff the shifts. Okay. So, soybeans will generate 40 over 5 days. So that's 8 per sol. 17 over 2 days. It's just slightly above 8. Okay. So I think, yeah, we're still going to carry on with this plan. We're going to be building the soybeans. Now, I think the problem here is that if I'm generating 17 every 2 sols, that means we're going to need to make multiple farms in order to sustain our current population. So realistically, if it's 17 every 2 days, even if we double that up, we're still not generating enough to balance out our needs. Now, unfortunately, I don't have space. It would have been really smart for me to build a farm somewhere in here, but I don't think I could really afford to do that. So, priority number 1. Don't have a machine parts factory yet, but here's what I'm going to do. start with a farm. What else would we want in here? Well, we definitely want that machine parts factory, so I'll leave that off to the side. Oh, I forgot, we can also build a hydroponic farm if it really comes down to it, but I don't think I want to destroy anything in order to get one. Okay, so let's say we've started with our farm. I said I want this to be all about manufacturing. Also, I'm a little curious what we have. Looks like we've got... Okay, we've actually got a lot of space for tourists. So what I think I'm gonna do... So I'm only knocking down scientists right now because we don't have any place for them. Okay. Okay. So before I do anything, I'm going to take a quick look at what my my requirements are. So it looks like we've got... Huh. I wonder why... I wonder why my botanists aren't working where they need to. Oh, it must have been because they graduated from university. So in terms of just non-specialists, I have a need for one. Four. Seven. Okay, so let's say we'll bring in 7 non-specialists. And I'll definitely prioritize the tourists. Yeah. So we'll just knock out the seniors. Now, in anticipation of some of the future needs, yeah, so my botanists are a little worse for wear. let's say we'll knock out the geologists for now, because I think we're actually in a decent enough shape for that. 3. And of course, engineers are always a high priority because they're going to be building the things that I want. Let's take a look and see if I've got any good traits for non-specialists. A lot of chronic conditions. Now, hypochondriac isn't too bad because we are going to have a decent enough staff of medics, but I think we can do better. See, this is a pretty good one. So in this case, we've got a workaholic officer. So even though we don't have a high priority for officers, that's a pretty good person to have in the base. So we'll launch the Prometheus one. That's on its way. Now I do think I'm going to need to bring in a lot of food just as a precaution. And next up, okay, so we've got a farm here. I think the real question is whether or not I want to open this thing up right away or not. So we'll build our life support infrastructure first. Yep, that'll do it. So I suppose the next matter is finding electricity. So I'll connect that as well. Always want to keep an eye just on the polymers, machine parts, electronics, things like that. It's a pretty good question here as to whether or not I want to make the Caius 1 go back. You know what? I think I will. Even though it doesn't have a payload. I think we'll start sending these guys back as soon as they can. Okay. Let's turn that on, make sure that it's working. Alright, so building not working. And in this case, we'll make them do soybeans. It's obviously due to a lack of botanists, that's not a surprise.
Funding received.
Alright, well, always happy for more money. So this is my big dilemma, is I didn't really think a whole lot about what I wanted to get. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll take a cargo rocket. Let's say I'm going to need 60 for machine parts. That's going to be in order to build my that's going to be able to build in order to build my 2 tunnels. I think that's going to be some precautionary food. I actually think that's I think I'm going to live with that. I don't feel great about it, but this is going to ensure that I survive, and that I'm also going to be able to build Site B. Of course, we spent a lot of money on that, so I need to be a bit careful about how I handle all of this. I think it's probably going to come down that I will need to build some. I'm going to have to build some sort of amenities, and I think that's just because I'm not going to be able to sustain both an electronics factory as well as a machine parts factory fully staffed with the existing housing arrangements that I have. Although I do like the idea of building 3 farms, so let's just think a little bit about that. At its peak amount, these would be building 50-ish every 2 days. Yeah. I just wish I knew if I had a way of being able to divide these out. You know, what I could do is I could destroy one of these apartments and put a farm instead. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to focus on building the machine parts factory first. That'll go in here. And eventually, I'm going to build up enough infrastructure to be able to sustain another living quarters. We'll take out this one, and we'll put a new one in here. And the main reason for that is there's a technology that will improve... where was it? Excuse me. There's definitely one that says that if you have a farm inside of a dome, you get sort of a comfort bonus. I guess my RC Explorer doesn't have that much to do right now. Okay, let's take a quick look at my... I was wondering if I could... I'm mostly interested in the colonists. So this is... I wish I understood what these meant. Tycho Dust Devil, what a name. The encyclopedia will tell me something about what those traits mean. Okay, every colonist has 4 stats defining his or her current condition. Health represents physical fitness, sanity represents mental well-being, comfort represents the quality of the colonist's life on Mars, morale represents happiness, optimism, and loyalty. Excellent. Okay. So let's take a quick look and see how these 2 domes are doing on those measures. So everybody's healthy. Looks like we do have a few problems with sanity. Now this is probably because some of these folks are on night shifts. Let's maybe take a quick look at some of these folks who are, so I've got a medic here. It's funny, I'm not able to... So Alia Grant lowers sanity. Yeah, so that's definitely due to the dark hours. All right. I need to think a little bit about how I'm going to manage. Oh, I did not realize that I needed. Because of course the challenge here is that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure overtime is just gonna hurt everybody's morale even more. I'm definitely relying on a pretty robust extraction of resources here. Okay, surprisingly we do actually have a farm that's being worked on. Okay, and looks like good news here. The exports are almost done. I think what we'll do as soon as this is ready to, I think there's going to be 2 conditions. Once it's refueled, and then once a new ship is sort of on the ground, we will, now this is an important bit of information. So we actually, our electricity is dropping too much in the evening. Should have paid attention to that. So where do I want to put these? Looks like I don't have too much in the way of options. So 3 more of these should do it for now, but obviously this is not a permanent solution. And I should be a little careful here. It's not a full circle, but in this case it'll take care of, it'll layer things out a bit. Partly I didn't anticipate the needs in this new dome. But yeah, so hopefully we'll get as many rare minerals in the Hyperion 3.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Oh. So of course I don't have any way of getting my rover to check that out, but that's good. That's good news. I'm actually thinking a little bit about this. So the ideal place for... Where were we? The ideal location for a tunnel will be right in the middle here. And that's because there's overlap between the two drone hubs. So one of these fellas is coming online. We should see that number drop down. Great. Okay, so the Hyperion 3 is ready to go. Of course, we're going to wait until we get a new set of rockets. So we've got 25, 26. And I'm sure before too long we'll wind up with another... Oh, yeah, we've already got a nice little stack of rare minerals. So this will be coming with 12 passengers pretty soon. We're going to put that right at the front here. And then the cargo flight I'm actually going to put as far away from the base as possible. That probably means they won't be collecting some rare minerals to bring back, but I'm not too upset about that. It is rather important, of course, that I do get some rare minerals off the planet as quickly as I can, just because if I do need some infusion of new items. You know, one thing I should focus on too is, or not focus, but one thing that'd be interesting is if there's a way that I could turn the surplus power into some kind of more productive use, because right now I've got all of these solar panels. They don't cost that much in maintenance. Obviously, I have no shortage of metal, but right now they're not doing that much for me. I've already got enough to sort of sustain myself through the night. Of course, that may change if I have to turn down the Stirling generators. So, let's bring the passengers in. I wonder how long it takes for the see, it says I need engineers and officers, but I also need farmers. Botanists, rather. Ah, okay, so we've got 3 sols to prepare for a dust storm. Now let's do a drill. So let's say that the Stirling generators get shut down. I forgot about that.
New colonists have arrived.
Okay, so we are 28 short, it looks like. I think I'm getting some of these numbers wrong. Okay, so we're essentially 4 wind turbines down. Now we'll make up some of that by the increased productivity. But let's not risk anything. I'll build ideally 3 if I can. Yeah, we'll go with 3 for now, I think. They're already unloading, so good news there. Now, ideally, yeah, we've got one more rare metal coming in, so that's great news there. All right, let's also get our new goodies. Okay, they're ready to go back to Earth. Now, one thing I have been neglecting, so milestones. I want to make sure that I'm getting any opportunities I can on the planet's surface. So what are we looking at here? I'm tempted to bring along these officers because we don't really have a lot of security needs at the moment. So we need 4 officers. Do I have 4 officers though? We do. So with that in mind, we'll see if we'll be able to send those guys off before we'll put this as a top priority. Now we should also have gotten some money for bringing the tourists in, I suspect. Oh, wonderful news. We've got enough botanists. So this will help us out with our food needs. In fact, 2 sols before we get another soil quality upgrade. Again, this is going to take a while to get all this infrastructure up and running, but I'm not too worried about it. Although, now that I've got the machine parts, let's start our tunnel construction. Just want to make sure the overlay's right. Yeah, it doesn't
Resources
matter.
are low.
Okay, so it looks like there's still a little... Seems like they're a little unhappy with the food still, but I think we'll be okay. We'll get a nice big improvement in 2 sols. And then I don't have really high hopes for this one, but you never know. I'm also very interested to see whether or not the officers show up. Of course, I forgot a rather important prefab that I brought in. Machine parts factory. So put that one down as a low priority right now because I'd like to focus on electronics production if I can. The reason for that is electronics are going to be what make all these research centers work. Excellent, they already took the colonists. Now one thing I neglected was polymers. Those are going to become pretty important. fact, if I think about it, I might even need to build an entirely separate dome in order to be able to house.
Research complete.
Hey, Mars crowdfunding is done. Okay. Now it's really tempting to do live from Mars because that will give me some additional applicants. Cargo space increased as well, but I'm also not really making enough money in order to be able to get I actually think more applicants is going to be my higher priority for the next little while. All the nerds in the colony should have gotten a morale boost off of that too. So I definitely think in 3 sols, I should be thinking a little bit in terms of what my polymer, my polymer stockpile is going to be. I wonder, do I have? Yes, I do. So. I can't remember if I can build drone hubs on my own or not. No, I need to buy one. Maybe I don't want to do that right now, though. I do think I want to bring a big cargo rocket in, though. This doesn't leave me a lot of options in terms of money, but I think we're gonna go. I think we're gonna go for as much stuff as we can. I just hope that it arrives before the dust storm. It's not ideal that I've got a botanist working in. Shame on me. Oh no. So I'm gonna give that a lower priority. Oh no, actually here's what I do. All right. I was a little more precautionary about the electronics factory, if I'm completely honest. I'm not so sure how I feel about that. I think I'm okay with all those other jobs not being fulfilled, but
Breakthrough discovered.
ooh, super fungus. Now that doesn't quite make sense. Oh, I see. So we got the potential to research that. So fungal farm upgrade super fungus. Increases production while increasing oxygen consumption. Historically, lab mistakes involving fungi have rarely been a cause for celebration. A recent mishap in the lab seems to be the exception, as we've created a new breed of fungi which hold much promise. Now, I don't really use that building, so I don't think I'm going to do too much to research that. Oop, this is going to be a big hit to my power, I think, because this thing needs 50. So I think once I have enough engineers, yeah, you know what, this should be able to handle it. Once we get enough graduates, I'm gonna switch these to sort of specialist only, but we need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're gonna need 11 graduates out of this place. I kind of wish it gave you a little bit more of a report in terms of how people are engaging with this. Just in terms of what their progress is. It looks like OBS is keeping me at a pretty steady 36 or 40 frames a second, so I have a feeling that'll degrade the quality of the video a little bit. I'm curious, I'll just wave this around a little to see. Yeah, at least it's keeping it consistent. But I'll see if there's something I can do to improve that for next time. Alright, now I'm just going to fill in the blanks. It's going to take us a while before we can head up there, so I'm going to... Although what would be really interesting is if I decommission all of these and I put them up on a higher ground, because of course we can connect power. These guys are getting some healthy exports. As far as available space, yeah, we've got a lot of space available, so I'm thinking maybe we can... Oop, which is this one? Ah. This is my away team. In fact, I think I'm going to send it off to take care of another one. Welcome home, friends. So we'll put that a little bit lower priority at the moment. There's our brave comrades.
Colonists are departing.
Okay. Oh, I don't think that's right. Homeless? That doesn't seem... I don't think that's true. Alright, now we're going to send this on another expedition. And this one's going to need... So, multiple strange signals detected over time can be traced to this area, which is now nicknamed the Zone. So in this case, in the interests of preventing my competitors from getting in there, we'll send another expedition right away. And while I'm at it, let's just see what's going on. So India is definitely building quite a bit more than me. I'm most interested in research. Alright, so we're evened out. Looks like India's got a lot of construction. Interesting. They seem to have a lot of colonists though. But yeah, I'm going to make, I am going to wind up making research a slightly higher priority. Even potentially at the expense of my industrial base. I'm really curious if this is, yep, this is being built at the same time. So I think what we'll do is we'll wait for the dust storm to pass by, but then we're going to start the construction of Site B. Explorer's doing okay, harvesters. You know what, let's find something for the harvester to collect. I'm very fond of this music. Kind of been neglecting looking at the life of the colony. Let's take a look at what's going on. We've got people. Oops. Well, that's a little less dramatic. There we go. There's people looking at electronics. We've got exercise by the pool. Let's just take a moment and enjoy this scene.
Received.
This is one of the reasons why I really enjoyed playing this this game when I wasn't feeling all that good about work. I've said it before, but it's a very hopeful game. It's about discovery and sort of pushing human knowledge and achievement ahead. You get to see people living out their lives, and you've got a really nice soundtrack in the background to be able to listen to these things. Oh, we lucked out. We get to see a Martian sunset. Let's open photo mod to take a look at that. There we go. Oh, you know what? It's probably gonna force a time of day though, so we'll live with the UI for now. At least we got to see the last little bit of it. I wonder if we get to see any of the light now. Guess we don't really see too much nightlife. Just play the game. Get to see people going in and out of the casino. I wonder. Oh, let's take a look at what's going on in the diner. It's always nice. I'll admit, I sometimes feel a little bad if only one of them's eating alone. Of course, now one of them is eating alone. Ah, there we go. Alright, I didn't really need the medals, so I wasn't going to take that trade offer from India. And this is, I think this is the space bar. Nope, this is university. People taking night classes. Here's the space bar. I always love doing something about this. You can go into the photo mode. Get a really nice, I think you can get a nice tight shot here, so I'll close in the field of view. Oh, that's right, there isn't a way to change the level though, so alright, now they're looking the wrong direction, so oh, maybe we have some possibilities here. One of the things that's kind of neat about doing a telephoto shot, so if you go wide out like this, and if you wanted to do a shot like this, we wouldn't want the environment to cut, but well, I think I'll have to live for this just because, oh yeah, everything's cutting over, but this would obviously emphasize the distance between these two characters, which we don't always want to do. And while they still don't look particularly close, what I'd probably want to do, oops, it's very sensitive when you zoom in like that. Oh, looks like I got another building in the way. There we go. So much closer, even though they're in the exact same spot. Of course, that's not the ideal. It's not exactly the ideal look for for this character. And there, he's looking away, so he can't. The problem is that you can always use visual tricks to try and create that closeness, but people's body language definitely betrays the moment. So let's see if we can find that bar again. There we go. So, it's a little more like it. Oh, that's right, we couldn't go from that angle. So let's zoom out. We'll go back to the game in a little bit, but I do have a lot of fun playing with photo mode in this. Oh, I put a building in the way again. We should be able to get around that. Nope, that's the nursery. I don't think we should have anybody drinking in there. Where did I put the space bar? It's university. Oh, there it is. Okay, so they got their backs facing me right now, so okay, it's gonna get really sensitive when I zoom in, so I want to try and get the angle. There we go. So this one, because they're a little bit closer, we can even afford to give more of an idea of place. It's just a little combination between the level that I zoom in at as well as the lens. That's probably a little too much because once we get the UI away, so it'd be nice if I can get some of the environment. What would be perfect is if we had sort of a landmark in the background. Let's just take a quick look at what that looks like. Could be worse. It's not that much going on, so it's not a photo that I'll take, but photo mode is definitely one of my favorite features of this game, especially for something like this where it's all about what you're building. You get a chance to show all your friends what you've been up to and what you're proud of. Okay, so we've got our care package coming in, some extra food just in case, a lot of polymers. That's going to be to try and help deal with anything that comes up during the dust storm. And then some extra machine parts and electronics just in case. we still don't quite have enough electronics production in order to be, or to recover our consumption, and that's going to be aggravated when we build Site B for research. But there's nothing saying that we can't focus on building some more electronics when our population grows. All right, here we go. Again, this is going to be a little bit further away from the dome. Although I think at this point, once we get the last of the food and the machine parts out, we can probably send this one back home. And looks like we expect the dust storm to hit tomorrow, so we'll have the resources that we need. Might be a little complicated for the Prometheus one to take off, though.
Colonists are departing.
Oh. It's so surprising that I have homelessness. I wonder if there's something I can do to stop that. So let's pause. Let's assign these guys to something a little more, there you go. And there you go. Alright, so my little guys are off, still medium load. Alright, everybody's working productively. Now, just in anticipation of my needs, let's lay down a little infrastructure. This is going to be a tricky one, actually. Not ideal, but I can live with it. I also didn't really think that much about the water, because obviously we don't have any direct paths there, so I think the best way for me to handle that is just to sneak it through. Get rid of that one. Oh no. So this little guy's doing a lot of work, but okay. Now, I think the barrel dome is the again, all of this is just in prep. But let's say here we do. So we'd start by building an apartment. Oh, drat. I'm gonna have to build the dome first. Okay. So just as a starter. apartments give me space for 24. Research labs, I can fit... Okay, stacks of 3, so research labs. Should actually be making notes of this, so... Get apartment, size 24. Research labs take 9 workers. Now, to sustain the population, I think we'd say there's no births. There's no births or anything like that. So, to sustain it, let's say we do... Actually, I don't need to guess about this. As many scientists as possible. Let's get rid of chronic condition because I never take it. No idiots. No lazy. Definitely genius. Definitely workaholic. I'll say no seniors. Yeah. Definitely have a pretty deep pool. Now while I'm at it, how many? I can bring in 9 tourists. So let's just so let me just take a quick look here. We've still got training going on. We need 13 officers, 17 engineers, and 2 botanists, it looks like. To have botanists working somewhere they shouldn't be. Nope. Okay. Well. Oh, but we did say we're going to have a dust storm, so I'm going to calm down. How are we for space? 7196. So yeah, we're good for that. Oh, looks like the Prometheus one is already on its way to the planetary anomaly. I hope they don't get caught in the dust storm. Oh dear, looks like our apartments have have a malfunction at the moment. Now hopefully we've got a drone on their way. I'm a little worried about the number of batteries that we've got set up right now. Looks like there's only 2, 3. I don't know how good that's going to be for getting us through the storm, though. Okay, so let's get the Hyperion. Oop. No, we definitely want the machine parts. So my drones are definitely being overworked. I wonder if my harvester... Nope, they're still doing work. So they are ready to go, but it's not clear whether or not the drones are gonna have the machine parts and food off in time. And fortunately, we're almost done our batch of soybeans. I'll watch the moment.
Sector scanned.
Oh, that's a good sector. Just keeping an eye on the resources while we're watching, quite literally, the grass grow. I think these count as a pulse crop, I'm not sure. Guess it's not grass, but... I'll just take a minute and admire the view.
Anomaly analyzed.
Oh. New techs are available for research. That must have been the... Yep, that was the Prometheus one. So we'll take a look at that later. We're almost done. Almost done the soybeans. It's going to be really interesting to see if this arrives on time. It's making some decent progress. Up there we go. It's really interesting that it still says that we're too low on our production, or that we're low storage. Might be because it's inside the buildings. If that's the case, I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so new text.
There's more to the barren environs of the red planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder. So long as you know where to look.
Even the tiniest, simple-looking rock can contain the answers to mysteries which perplex the human mind for generations. Sometimes it takes just a simple discovery to assure us of the vastness of the universe, and encouragement to make us look beyond the boundaries of our existence and into the future. The following texts have been revealed on the research screen: microgravity medicine, low-G engineering, dust repulsion, rover command AI, and general training. So let's just take a quick look at what our options are going to be. So low-G engineering will give me... Oh, I might want to reconsider the dome that I'm building, actually, for Site B. I'll have to think about that. General training. Colonists without the proper specialization suffer a lower work penalty. Supportive community. It lowers the risks of colonists developing flaws after a sanity breakdown. Ooh, dust repulsion. Solar panels are gradually cleaned from dust when closed, resulting in less frequent maintenance. Now again, metal isn't a very high priority for me right now, so... But micro-manufacturing is tempting, especially for building a second one of these. But yeah, it's really tempting to shoot for the stars and get low-G engineering, just because it'll give me so much more on Site B. Take a minute to fill in some of the gaps. Let's say this is a specialists only. I think I'm going to start clearing out a few of these. I want to start making sure that specializations are enforced for some of these areas. Diplomacy with India. Oh, it's you, my friend. I'm glad to see you on screen. How is everything going? Oh, no, 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 no. So bringing in more tourists will definitely be a source for... Let's get you guys back as quick as we can. I think we're gonna wait on that. Just see if there's other opportunities for more and better research. Looks like there's nothing new going on. I'm curious if it says there will be homeless problems with these guys returning. Let's inspect the entire colony. Oh dear. Okay, Joseph. Let's get you a home. Okay, looks like everybody's found their space again. Again, I'm a little troubled by the fact that this isn't getting unloaded. I'm curious if this rover is going to have I wonder if it's going to go back or if it's going to be able to help with the unloading. So this big stack of metal is one of the big reasons why I kind of want to get this machine parts factory off the ground. Okay, so let's get you to load up. We might still be able to beat the storm. move you out of the way. Maybe we'll start loading up on these. And let's see what the colonists would see. I thought that was an adult that was going through the slides. Let's watch that. It's fun to see people play. Never realized that the drones were about person-sized as well. I didn't really think of that until the moment. Looks like we're getting short on geologists. So we can always use engineers. Okay, so let's get you to unload. I think what we'll do here, we'll start with the passenger rocket. Let's go back. I'm gonna... Oh! No, 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 no. Oh, that's so bad. I wonder when the last autosave was. So it's 41. We are on... Oh, that's so long ago. Well, we'll live with what we've got. Okay, so the dust storm has arrived. Let's minimize the damage to the Stirling generators. It's a little curious that the solar panels are still working, but we're well supplied. Ah, there we go. And I didn't anticipate that the... Okay, so the moisture evaporator is down. And I wasn't even thinking that the Moxies would be down, so how are we for... So it's only going to take a day. We've got 300 stored. Yeah, our storage capacity is enough to take us through this. And we're definitely very heavy on power generation, so I don't think I'm going to have to worry about creating any more. I feel a little foolish about this rocket, but I'm sure people will find their place. Okay, this is one thing I should have anticipated as well, that there will be leaks that occur. I'm not so worried about electricity, but obviously water and oxygen will be rather critical. at it, let's get my my harvester. We'll get them to unload the rest of the rocket. And again, I'm sort of readjusting my priorities here so that any rockets that I do get, essentially I'm gonna send them back home as soon as I can. Okay, this is a bit of a concern. Looks like they're dealing with it though. My drones are a little slow to respond, it looks like, even though they're under low. Oh. Just put them wherever at this point. But yeah, I'm gonna try and send as many of these ships back home as I can. But overall, we seem to have done a decent job weathering the storm. At this point, I think I'm gonna try and prioritize bringing in as many tourists as I can. And the real question is whether or not I want to try and build a Site B for research as quickly as possible, in which case I'll use the barrel dome, or if I want to wait and get the research for the medium-sized dome. I am tempted to build Site B right away, though. We have the money for it. Actually, I'm gonna do something a little surprising here. I'm actually gonna enforce specialization in the electronics factory, because the expected production is 7 and expected consumption is 7, and then hopefully this will only improve over time. Now, I won't make the same claim about this machine parts factory, though. This is partially trying to encourage my existing population to partially just trying to get the distribution of work down properly. So yeah, even though I got rid of all of those non-specialists in the electronics factory, it looks like I still have gaps in terms of the free work slots. Just trying to find the 9th free slot. Uh-oh, looks like we've got somebody unemployed here. Well, let's find you, sir, because I'd love you to go to work in the electronics factory. Actually, I should be doing this for the whole colony. Nobody's homeless, nobody's unemployed. But yeah, I think what I'm going to wind up doing to try and get some extra money is once I'm able to get a rocket back, there was obviously the mistaken passenger rocket, but the next priority is going to be to try and bring as many tourists in as I can. Another thing I want to do is find some metals. So it says there are metals in the... Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're going to get you to... do one of these, I think. Again, I'd love to do a polymer factory if I can at some point, but yeah, we'll try and get a lot of money. The other thing is that I do have a mission profile. So we have 4 currently. We're also doing all right with income generation, but we should really be working on this more. I do actually have some buildings that will help me generate income as well. The smart complexes are definitely I'm not quite sure where I get those from yet. I wonder if there's any big...
Resources are low.
Oh, so it looks like they think the food's getting short. I do want a nice big monument. Let's buy the first one giant leap for mankind. Doesn't quite fit. It's only 6 more hours of the dust storm, so while we're losing some power, we've definitely got enough. Oh. This was the leak I was hoping we wouldn't get. I think we'll be able to weather it though, because we've only got 5 hours left of this. Let's watch the monument being erected. Let's see if we can get one of the colonies in the shot as well. Alright. I don't think that does anything other than just makes the Martian surface a little more beautiful. But then it's a very large part of the reason why I play this game. Let's take a look at, so China's still at 300. the storm will get away just in time for the new colonists. So we've got 82 out of 96, 54 out of 56. We're going to be running out of space, I think. So if we add another 12 colonists here, we're going to be up to 94.
Funding received.
Excellent. So yeah, we'll be up to 94 here. So give me 2 left over and another 2 there. Well, that's a shame. That means I'm going to have to reconsider my choice about bringing in more. Let's get another batch of these in. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to bring in tourists, unfortunately. Not unless some people go off the colony. I'm surprised the electronics factory is so large compared to the machine parts factory. Okay. Well, the Hyperion will land close to the buildings, and the Caius one we will send back to Earth as quickly as we can. Now, I actually have space for 3 tourists. Against my better judgment, .55 out of 56. Yeah, I think I was originally gonna try and bring people in, but I don't feel comfortable doing that right now. So if I want to support more people coming into the area, I'm going to have to start building up this infrastructure. So we're going to have engineers, botanists,
New colonists have arrived. Colonists are departing.
Ooh. It's so odd to see them say that they are homeless. We can let them go, though. Oh, drat. We do have scientists coming in. I should have taken a look at what my... Okay. So how many scientists do we have? 1. Okay, you know what? I think the time has come. We are going to build Site B. It's going to be a barrel dome. just trying to think if there's any ideal way I can put this down, but nope, this is gonna be it. I do think I'm gonna need to have a drone hub set up. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Reopen all my Stirling generators. Okay, now I want to see a few things about specializations. So engineers like dining. Botanists like luxury. Scientists like gaming. Okay, so we're gonna have a lot of gaming for sure. Gaming, dining, luxury. We'll just do small versions of all of the different things. Okay, so electronic store is small, so let's say we've got gaming taken care of there. But I don't have luxury. Okay, so small art store as well, so electronics, art. I suppose I'd put a small grocer in then. So that's a total of 9. There. Okay, so that's a total of 18. Just trying to make these numbers work out, so... Okay, so farm, apartments, merchant district. Oh, not even. The merchant district's going to be even smaller. Oop, I don't think we need him in the... I think we need him in the list. Curious how we are. Okay, so 93, 96, 55, 56. Yeah, we definitely need to. Oh. Disease. A virulent disease is spreading in another colony. A stolen rover arrived from the infected colony of China. A colonist and a child in protective suits are holding hands in front of the airlock at one of your domes. They look scared. Our colony is in chaos, they say. Please let us in or send help. So we can send medical workers to help contain the outbreak. We can seal the gates and establish quarantine, accept some refugees under strict medical supervisions, and 10% will get. Okay. I just gave myself a big headache, but I'm gonna make this work. Okay, so we're gonna get an infirmary. I know I technically don't need one of these in every colony that I build. But it's nice just to have it as an option. I think I'm gonna start a small grocer, small art store. Oh, electronics store is a little weighty. Didn't think I'm gonna do that. I think I will do a diner instead. That actually surprisingly worked out. So we've got a diner and a space bar. So now I can do grocer. Small art store. Actually, let's cancel that. Yeah, so we've got proper grocers on both sides. I guess I need a security station, so let's work on that. So security's extra living space is definitely the high priority here. I think I do need another electronics store now that I think of it. Let's just take a look. Yeah, these are all... These are all being used. Okay, well that's fine. Well, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this place anyway, so we will make it focused on amenities. And I will also build apartment buildings. Because that'll allow me to demolish one of these eventually, and we'll be able to replace it with a farm. So we'll give this one priority. Okay, so electronics. Let's think, what's a small thing I can build here? Ah, nice. Maybe I can build a playground? Let's find something that takes up 3 slots. Okay, we've got an art store. So we've got grocer, art. Get another electronic electronics store built. Oh, I want to be careful. So I want to keep these two for the very end because I might want to build another barrel dome to connect all of these together. And it's most likely I'm going to want to build the passage here. Okay, so the infirmary's up for sure. Definitely want an electronics store. Yeah, so I have a little bit of everything. I suppose now I will consider the nursery and such. Guess I'm gonna need to build another school now that I think of it. Another university too. Well, let's not go overboard. Just want people to live here. But then now that I think of it, so yeah, we've got all these kids running around. So I am going to build a playground and a nursery. And that means a school. No room for a lake. Nice small garden. Okay. Not entirely happy with how this has turned out, but I can work with it. So, yeah, we do have a few homeless colonists now. Probably could have prepared for this a little bit better, but in the meantime... Oh, no, I don't actually have anything I can do. Let's do another care rocket then. So, drone hub. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm going for it. I can't remember. Can I build polymer factories? Yes, I can. Okay, so I'll make this nice and close to the base. Okay, they're ready to go back. Okay, so production in the electronics factory is definitely kicking up. That's great news.
Sector scanned.
Now, I am curious if we have any unemployment problems. So we do have a big homeless problem. Oh dear. Okay. So, the apartments are the first priority. It looks like we've got some drones on their way there. We can add a new shift to begin with. Once the apartments are built, I'm going to... Actually, what I can do here, we'll open up our security stations for anyone to work. That'll help us a little bit with some of our difficulty. So even just one of these apartments being built will help my, I believe that will help my, that'll help my homelessness problem. The unemployment problem I'm going to deal with by opening up the polymer factory. I am a little curious, of course, now that we've opened up the machine parts factory. Also looks like I'm getting some more geologists here, so we should see if there's something I can do to put them to work. It wouldn't hurt to have... Well, we still produce quite a bit. But yeah, so this is generating 5. We consume... I don't believe that. Oh, actually it's consumption and maintenance, so I need to be careful about this. So, we're still not producing enough in the machine parts factory. For the electronics factory, we consume 7 and we use 1.6 for maintenance. Oh, so we're still ahead of the game. I suspect that will fall once we get science and all of that online, but that's fine. I think it's almost inevitable that I'm going to be adding another site. Okay, so let's see how the homelessness situation is. Oh dear.
Resources are low.
Okay, so we've already got new polymers coming in. That'll be good news.
Research complete.
All right. So that was... that allowed us to create moisture. Oh no, that improved our moisture evaporators. So water production increased by 50%. And we'd get biome engineering. Farms increase the comfort of all residences. Residences in the dome. So that was the one we were talking about. Do I really need water reclamation? I feel like... Oh yes, both of these don't really matter for me. Okay, so now I'm on to the 2000 techs. So I can build Stirling generators, but I've already got one sort of in my back pocket. I can do Rover Command AI. RC Commander starts with 4 additional drones and the command limit increased by 12. Unlocks new automated mode for RC Explorer and RC Transport. Mega Storage. New building large water tank and large oxygen tank. And utility crops. I feel like utility crops is probably my biggest priority here, so let's go there. From the salad you eat to the air you breathe, plants have a fundamental role to play for humanity well beyond Earth. So ideally I'm going to get some tourist applicants in here, but I need to make sure that everything's okay first. Okay, let's help out with the homelessness problem.
Meteor shower incoming.
Ooh, that's going to make things exciting. Okay. It's a little concerning that they're still here, but we do still have an unemployment problem. So what we'll do here, we'll put the polymer factory as priority. Grocer. Actually, we're going to lower these other ones. I'm gonna, what I should be doing, I will lower the ones that don't involve employment.
Funding received.
Okay, great news there. So we're going to give this a little while for people to find their place. And what I'm going to do now... So we can bring as many tourists as we can, so let's start with that. 1, 2, 3. Interesting. Okay, so let's change. So let's say no to chronic conditions because we already have a lot of those. Okay, that didn't eliminate. Let's also say remove idiots. Nope, can't do that. What about loners? Lazy? Just trying to get rid of some of the worst flaws without removing tourists. Okay. Yeah, more importantly, no specialization, always one engineers, officers, medics. Okay, I can definitely work with that officer. Actually, let's I'm gonna lock in the tourists for sure. Okay, so we'll ditch these folks. Okay, so priority number 1, let's find the tourists. The important thing to remember is I only have room for 3 additional. I don't think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm missing two tourists. And again, that's just to make sure that I fit the I fulfill the mandate. There we go. So just one more. There we go. Got him. Okay, so we can actually afford to have anybody with Okay, so these are 2 pretty decent officers. Let's see what our engineers look like. Oh, that's a good engineer. You know what? I'm actually really happy with this group. Okay, now what do we have for space? 19 to 48. So against my better judgment, I'm now going to salvage this building. And this is going to be so that I can build a farm. The batteries of this drone are depleted. It can be recharged by other drones or rescued by an RC commander. Consider constructing recharge stations where such problems occur to prevent this in future. Well, he's not that far from the... Let's get you to... Oh, looks like there's a... Something about this spot. Let's watch him help this little buddy. Okay, great. Let's just open the floodgates for that one. Okay, so there should be no employment problems here at this point. Oh, now looks like I wasn't anticipating the demands on the grid, so let's let's start with a new Stirling generator. I'm actually going to put that right beside our tunnel. I don't think the Stirling generator on its own, yep, that only generates 20, so I also want to make sure that, well, you know what, my batteries are actually going to be able to help me out with this, so maybe I don't need to worry so much. Water is a bigger problem, though. So, for now, I think I'm going to be okay with moisture evaporators, but I might want to start considering another way of water production. See, technically I don't need to keep these close to the domes. The reason I like to do that, though, is just in case something happens. Yeehaw, comrade, let's go party. There's no party like our party. So this would be, we'll send food in exchange for concrete. I don't feel right doing that. Let's take a quick look. So we're good standing, good standing. Oh, Church of the New Ark doesn't like us at all. Steel drones would be pretty fun. Yeah, we won't do it yet. But stealing drones actually seems like a really great way to hamper an opponent, as well as bolster my own infrastructure. I think I also need to admit that I'm going to need to build some more wind. Nope, uneven terrain, wasn't expecting that. Okay. So again, this is just to make sure that this is sort of dedicated to the tunnel, just in case we do run into a little trouble. I'm wondering, it is tempting to build a second water extractor here. It's such an ugly way of solving this. It's also probably going to get some depreciation due to the... No, you know what? I don't know why I said I was going to build more wind turbines, because in the end... soybeans. Okay, before I go too far, let's take a look at the overall colony. Okay, so we still have some homeless and one unemployed, so we'll start. Alright, so this is a payload, so we'll actually put this right over there. We're just one day away from getting our primary farm up and running. That's exciting. Those polymers definitely are coming at a good time. Yeah, I'm really surprised that we've got the water problems that we do. But I suppose it makes sense because these do take a bit. What I'm hoping to do eventually, okay.
Colonists are departing.
Oh,
Funding received.
looks like we are losing some folks due to homelessness. Oh, bit of a shame, but says they're homeless here. Let's see if we can manually resolve that before we lose anybody else. That'll hopefully resolve a little bit of the difficulty that we have. I think the next step here is see if we have anybody who says that they're unemployed. Okay, similar story, so get you working there. Looks like it's the same. I don't like doing that to a geologist, but looks like we're... Oh my goodness. Yeah, we just took a big hit to our rare metals production, but... Okay, I think the lesson here, though... Alright, we've resolved those issues. So let's think a little bit about our next steps. So security stations are going to go back to being specialist buildings. We definitely have a labor shortage now, but that's good. Uh-oh. Somehow... Oh, you're kidding me. So somehow I seem to have... I seem to have let...
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Oh, good news there. For some reason, I've now filled up both my apartment buildings.
Resources are low.
That's going to be a problem when the tourists come. So, what do I do about that? Oh, you know what? It's because children are taking up some of these spots. Okay. So I'm going to reassign a few people. We'll put you in here. trying to move some of the elderly colonists into buildings that are further away. Okay, so I think once we get the nursery built, we'll be in better shape. But let's prepare. So you all know I love my barrel domes. But before I go too far, let's make sure that, yeah, okay. So I just want to make sure that I actually get drone coverage. So I'm gonna build one of these. Yeah, we're gonna put that low priority. Also gonna make sure we can actually get a passage in between these two. Okay, so I'm pretty confident that will work. So what we'll do now is we will build some additional residences. Oh, not the complex. And again, I gotta make sure that we leave that one spot open. Okay, so I'm really gonna let this, ride this one out. That's just because ideally we build the living space for him. Okay, let's put this as a specialist job. Interesting for some, okay, I can set the specialization. Again, the aim here is just to try and get folks where I can to work on the you know what, let's close down the evening shift. Also want to make sure that I don't have specialists working on some of these other jobs. I'm okay having non-specialists work in the machine parts factory. Oh, I have so many scientists now. But, okay, I think we can land. Now, I wonder if it's possible. Oh, this guy's getting loaded up with fuel. I wonder if there's a way. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's get you to load up on fuel. I think they're gonna be going the wrong way. But again, if I can get this, rocket off the launch pad in time for these guys to arrive, I'm gonna be a very happy camper. Let's actually do okay, so load here, fuel. I'm curious if this will work. Just do a quick temperature check. No homelessness, no unemployment, so that makes me happy. As far as production, looks like 4.6. We need 3.9, so we're very quickly becoming self-sustaining. I actually think it's the food that's going to be our big problem. That's actually going to be a huge problem in a little bit. Okay, good. Soybeans are coming online here. Wait a minute. Yeah, we're going to be able to change this to a higher yield very quickly. Let's make this a specialist job. It's going to be very slow progress, unfortunately. But I'm going to try and force the population into doing the things that I want them to do. As far as polymers, we need to be generating 10. I think that's going to be very slow going. So there's a side of me that says I should actually just set this up to crank out engineers. Yeah, this is turning out a little bit better than I thought that it would, though. So if we take our polymer factory as an example. Oh, actually looks like there's quite a few people abandoning their post. Just need 5 more fuel. I think it's a bit much to hope for, but oh my goodness, there's only 10 slots available. Holy smokes. We're still overpopulated. Hopefully the nursery will help with that, though. Otherwise I'm going to have a big problem because there's quite literally nothing else I can do for population. Or for living space. Okay. Okay, we're in slightly better shape. Only 1 fuel, huh? I want to make sure I don't get too careless with my existing population. This guy's just hanging out. forgot to reassign, so these guys low, low. This is definitely going to be a big location. Okay, surely. Might as well load up what we can. I mean, this is going to need another 6 units. Actually, here's how I'm going to handle it. There we go. I guess I'll unload it like right in front of it, and hopefully the drones will take the hint. The good news is they do seem to be dropping off the rare minerals, or rare metals. I am a little curious how the storm is gonna handle things, or how we'll handle the storm rather. Just trying to make sure we don't have kids taking up slots that they shouldn't. Okay, let's find something for this guy to... Oh no. So I'm a little bit worried about my polymer situation, but there's not a lot I can do about it right now. You're kidding me. I don't care what you think you're doing. Oh, apparently fuel is an input. Nope. I feel bad doing it, but I do need to get these colonists home. What are you doing? Okay. I almost lost it. Okay, so they've got 21.
Sector scan.
They've got 16. just need 2 more. Got 1 on the pallet here. I'm fascinated that it still says that we're so low on... Oh, I should have changed this. So we're at 100% quality. So what we're going to do here is we're going to switch to wheat. So even though it has a lower... output, it produces new wheat every 2 days. Okay, great. So the Hyperion's going to go up. We'll take the Caius one and put it next door. It's got 14 residential slots available. And eventually we're going to have to consider... Oh, looks like this one's ready to launch too. Well, you know what? We need to unload it first, so... Once we're a little more secure in our position, I think I'm going to build Site B. We'll start moving some of those scientists over. And... yeah, right now I'm just relying on the money from the tourism. We should be in reasonably good shape. Again, I don't expect miracles here. It's going to be slow progress getting the soybeans, but the plan is to get these up to 100%. Then we'll be able to do our wheat production with 100% soil quality on 3 domes. Okay. So, new batch of colonists, primarily tourists, but they'll arrive just in time to see the meteor storm. Looks like we are getting some officers, which is encouraging. I'm curious if the funding will go up, or if we booked that as soon as we sent them off-world. Also, we seem to be getting more research for some reason. It's the genius colonists.
New colonists have arrived.
All right. Looks like we do have a little bit of an unemployment and homelessness problem, but we'll give them a little while to sort themselves out. Now, I think one drawback I've run into is that we actually have too many machine parts, and that means that these are sitting on the ship. So I suppose the answer for that is to build a machine parts depot. wish I had a better way of working with these. Oh, we are almost at capacity for the electronics factory. That's really encouraging news. Unfortunately, our consumption's now outstripped our production. So we're still in a net negative. I can try heavy workloads. I don't think that'll be worth it though. I think it's better just to focus on, I think what we'll do, I'm going to start by focusing on sort of getting myself up to speed for producing all of the goods. So we're going to be producing polymers, machine parts, fuel, and electronics. All of this will be on the Martian surface. Now, it won't be enough to make it self-sustaining, but it does mean that the number of shipments that we're going to be getting in will be falling. For instance, here we have enough polymers to cover our maintenance. We don't have enough for consumption, but actually, as far as all of our, so we make enough polymers for maintenance. We make enough, not enough machine parts for maintenance yet. Fuel is fuel. We definitely make enough electronics for maintenance. So now, of course, we're focusing on consumption. And I mean, one thing to keep in mind, right, is that in terms of our consumption, I don't actually need to have all of these jobs going right now. We probably would be self-sustaining if I reduced some of the jobs. So for instance, the casino complex and whatnot. I'm sure we could sort of redesign the colony to be able to handle some of those cases. Oh, what's going on here? Yeah, it's electronic storage. Okay, looks like we need maintenance for the electronics store, and again, we're running out of workers. Yeah, so the plan is going to be, I'm going to connect these domes together. The real decision is going to be whether or not I build the dome here or I build Site B first. I'm most inclined to do Site B, and the reason for that is so I can get these scientists employed. I think this guy's, yeah, he's going to do some repairs. Okay, this is ready to go home. Won't make much money, but I am curious how many tourists we have in here right now. We have no tourists in the colony? I find that very hard to believe. Yeah, he's a tourist. That's so interesting, it doesn't show me. Oh, here we go. That's why. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We gotta be getting close to that milestone then. Or not milestone, but missions. Now I think this might mean I need to do it simultaneously, so this might be the better one. Okay, meteor storm's coming in. I think in this case I am actually going to, no, you know what? I gotta make Site B. So this is for the construction. Okay, fortunately those are all dropping away from the colony. Oop, we are gonna wait for the construction, I think. Now it looks like, oh, we've got a couple of homeless here, so what's going on? Oh my goodness, we've already run out of space for people to live. I'm gonna guess that's because some of our kids grew up. So I suppose that means that Site B is on hold. Fortunately, it's dropping off some tasty polymers and metals. How am I against my rivals? So India is still at 200, we're generating 450, Newark is still not generating research, and China's still stuck at 300. I still gotta wait on the shuttles before I do any funny business. So I am gonna, the new plan here, I do really want to give the scientists some work, but what I'm gonna do to begin with, I am going to build this dome. I'm gonna connect the two of them, and that'll give me a chance to build some new. Actually, you know what? If I'm gonna build apartments, that means I'm gonna also have to build amenities. Well, so be it. I'll start with double apartments. I think what I'm gonna do the same pattern as before. So here I'm going to I'm gonna hold off on the kids stuff. Looks like diners are always popular. So I think I'll go for the diner. A diner and a grocer. And I think, well, I say I already have a grocer there. These are almost certainly choking each other up. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to admit the new barrel dome is a top priority. We'll start with 2 apartment complexes. I'm gonna build.
Funding received.
No, always good news. Yeah, you know what? We'll just build the 2.
Sector scanned.
I think we're just gonna build the 2 domes. There's really no easy way around it. And
Research complete.
oh, water reclamation is done. So water on Mars is abundant, yet it is mostly underground and in a frozen state, making it, while within reach, still difficult and expensive to mine. This makes recycling necessary to ensure a steady water supply. So again, I want to focus on my 2,000 techs. I think Drone Hub makes the most sense at the moment. Still have a leak. It's an unusual looking RC commander. I don't remember it. Maybe it is. Maybe it does look different. Let's find something for them to do. Just short. All right, so at the risk of inviting catastrophe, the meteor storm seems not to have disrupted too much of my activity. Caius 1 can go back to Earth. I think what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna wait for a little while. It seems to make sense to have at least one on the planet, and we know these new ones are going to be cargo ships. So the real question is whether or not I'm going to be able to get enough money to be able to,
Meteor incoming.
Oh. Okay, I can live with that. I can actually just cancel it right here. This is, of course, one of the reasons why it's wise not to not to start building until you're ready. I I may not be able to build on that site, so let's take a look. Yeah. Okay, well that's good to know, because what that's going to mean once this guy's done harvesting over here, we'll just get him to clear out Site B. That'll give me something to do while my next batch of goods comes in.
Anomaly found.
New anomaly? Oh, very interesting. So that gives something for my RC Explorer to do. Obviously, there's a little bit of danger moving them in, but it's a risk I'm willing to take, especially because it will give me more science. Oh, excellent. They're automatically using tunnel. I wasn't sure how they'd handle that. So I'm going to keep an eye on them just in case there's an impact. One thing that does cause me a little concern is to see how rapidly the polymers are being consumed. So once the harvester is done, I'm going to set them to clean out this area here. Again, there's a small risk that they get hit by a meteor, but I'll keep a close eye on what's going on. And I don't normally like doing this, but I'm actually close to the end of the time I wanted to spend on this, so I am going to speed up the game, at least until there's a big event that happens. If I can, it'd be nice to finish off the stream on the end of the
Funding received.
meteor shower. So nothing too special with the funding here. It's better than nothing, but it's not.
Research complete.
Okay,
Anomaly
excellent.
analyzed.
That's great news. So we're gonna head right back to our base. The Prometheus one, I'm just gonna put that further away because they're that's a cargo ship. Oop, transport optimization is done, so we can move on to either fuel compression or, yeah, we might as well. One day we'll be making enough money to sustain all of this.
Sector scanned.
Once the ship lands, then we'll launch the Caius. Okay, so this is now green. Again, building the living quarters where I can. Holy smokes, we have a really big problem.
Anomaly found.
Okay, so let's just take a minute here. Can't build quite yet. Again, I want this up as soon as I can. I'm gonna link them up, and then I'm gonna build apartment buildings first. We can move on to the others. Okay, ready to go. So we'll start. Now, the reason I'm building apartments over here is because I know there's no way I'm gonna build another dome on this side, so I'll actually give these guys a nice high priority. It's going to take up some of my polymers, it's important to remember. Next up, we will take care of the passage. This seems to make the most sense. Okay, next up. Diners definitely always seem to be popular. So I'm going to hold off on the security station, I think. So you know what I'm going to do? Now that our electronics factory is a specialist building, we're going to make machine parts a new specialist job. And the polymer factory is going to open itself up. I'm quite surprised at how quickly the Prometheus finished refueling. Okay, so the real question now is whether or not I'm going to be able to... I really wanted to make Site B, but I don't think it's worth it. So here's what I'm going to do instead. We'll make our transport route. Try and capture as much of the area as I can. There we go. I'll at least collect some goodies while we're there. Okay. So it looks like people are on their way. So let's say the infirmary is a low priority. The rest of the amenities I probably want to have as a higher priority. I suppose more importantly, I need to be considering okay, let's go back to thinking about what we need. Okay, constant demand for engineers. We also need botanists. You know what? I'm gonna go for a somewhat bold choice here. I'm gonna do 3 apartments. So, does also mean I need to think about the next dome if I do build one. Okay, so we know that this is going to be the spot.
Sector scanned.
I'm just keeping this as my option. In fact, while I'm at it, let's turn off the infirmary. I do want the amenities, though. Other amenities.
Funding received.
Okay, always happy for a little more funding. I don't think it'll be enough for me to do what I want, but... You know what? I think this will be where I build my other electronics. Oh, you know what? I said I wanted another university. So I'll build one of those. So then there's a question, do I want to have something for the kids, or do I want another factory? Okay. I would like another factory, but I'm not going to pay for the prefab for it. So, I could get a gym. I don't think that's the right answer, though. Yeah, they're all full up on kids. I do actually think it makes sense for me to build some infrastructure for kids, so let's do playground. And we'll add a nursery. What else do I want here? Oh, no. That's not where I'm putting that. So what I'm doing instead is I'm putting the nursery where I would have put one of those housing units. I'm a bit surprised that I'm running low on concrete. I suppose it makes sense, though. We did just do a lot of building. You know, as much as it likes to complain about my food, we're doing all right. Okay, so people are in reasonably good shape. This means, let's bring in another passenger rocket. We got 5 tourists. Before I do anything else, yep, that'll get me my goal. So, let's say botanist, engineers, officers, medics. cuts out tourists, can't do that. Okay, as before, first of all, let's see if we can get rid of some of these. Good. Good. Should actually be a little more careful about this because it potentially means okay. I still have applicants available though, so first priority as always, let's lock in the tourists. Okay. So I only have one more tourist to find. Bingo. Just want to see my botanist options before anything else. So I believe that should cover me for my farms. Might even have a little too much, but alright, now next up. I always have demand for engineers, but I think we're... Oh, no, there's another one. Okay, so seeing as we got some hypochondriacs coming in, let's bring in some medics. Alright. So I lied when I said we were gonna wait till the end of the... I may have overplayed my hand a bit with the... the engineer exclusivity. Okay, looks like we got a homelessness problem here. Definitely want to get that university online as soon as I can. Oh, right. Okay, so we have the nursery. Oh. Ooh, lots of things happening. Okay, so this is going to be for an electronics factory. I've got a university. So again, it's going to be nice to have a little bit of green. Actually, you know what? I can do that right now. I don't think there's anything else. So put a nice lake. It's a tough call. I could do something like in the core. Oh, maybe I can't. Give it a nice lake at the side here. I'll reserve the rest just because I don't know where the tunnel's going to go. Oh. The power of 3, a black cube appears.
A routine scan of the perimeter has detected an unidentified object within immediate proximity of the colony. Data logs confirm it. It isn't a glitch.
The mysterious object appears to consist of pitch-black cubes arranged in a matrix. The cubes seemingly levitate above the ground without the aid of a support structure. Preliminary image analysis remains inconclusive. An on-site investigation is required to assess the anomaly. We advise caution. A black cube has appeared seemingly out of nowhere. We have to investigate this anomaly. A black cube? Most peculiar. Oh, there it is. Sol 52, a peculiar black cube matrix has appeared near the colony. We should send an explorer to investigate. Now, we're heavy load here. How is this doing, though? Low load. So let's get some of you folks to help out your brothers. Looks like my storage is running out. Okay, I'm reasonably happy with where this is. I would like some more concrete, and I'm a little worried. A little worried we may not be able to keep up. But we do have more people coming in, which is good. Looks like our food is pretty stable, so I'm happy about that. And we'll be getting enough botanists in to manage things. Now this is rather important. It looks like the Martian University is not training anymore. Or, oh no, it is. Or sorry, isn't. When I say training, I meant at maximum capacity. It's always important to keep an eye on. But it does look like we could use more engineers. It is very tempting to switch this to, producing engineers, because that'll give us 15 to cram into the machine parts factory. Okay. I'm cheating again.
Dust storm approaching.
Oh. This one might be a little more troubling than last time. I think I am going to stick through it, though. I'm reasonably confident in... So there's going to be a boost to production here. in addition, we have quite a bit of stored power. Alright, looks like we still have... Okay, moving to a new dome. That's good. Yeah, the funny thing is the thing that we put so much effort into producing, we're actually still short on. Anyways, I am gonna speed things up a little bit. One, because I'm curious what happens. Oh. Yeah, I thought that was scanning, but... I'd also like to see the passenger rocket arrive. And then we'll call it an evening. I opted not to build Site B yet just because we're short on polymers. I'm going to get a nice little boost. Oh, now this is a worry. I should have anticipated that, so turbine is going to solve the problem. I'm actually going to build more than one.
Anomaly analyzed.
Okay.
On-site analysis of the unidentified structure only deepens the mystery. The evidence suggests that the cubes are clearly not a natural phenomenon.
The insides of the cubes, as well as the physical forces behind their levitation, remains an enigma. Individual cubes, as well as their combined structure, retain a perfect symmetry, and any attempts to physically disturb their positions have failed. What is even more puzzling is the analysis of photonic spectroscopy of the cubes. They seem to emanate radiation from an unknown wavelength which excites the separation of electrons inside the spectroscopic lens. While our science team refuses to jump to any conclusions, the chief engineer suggests that we should study the effect empirically on the colony's solar panels. The science team requested permission to commence experimental research on the cube's properties. New research on the mystery of the black cubes is now available. We should rearrange our research priorities. Alright. Oh, that's... yeah. So... while I'm at it, let's just double check. Yeah, this is a cheap one, so I'll go for it, but I feel bad about it. Stirling generator's a new priority. And fuel compression. No, we're back to 300 research per sol. Curious how our friends the Chinese doing. Yep, they're equal to me, but we did have a boost from the genius. Okay. Oh, the concrete is going to be a... yeah, so I'm actually in a little bit of danger here. Because my batteries are not charging. And I don't have any way of generating power at the moment. So, as a stopgap, turns out I am going to find new uses for solar panels.
Sector scanned.
Okay, those are a little... Alright, we're better off. So, new colonists first. Now again, the majority of this is not going to be anything that winds up helping the operations of the colony. It's going to be something that allows me to get some... it's going to be something that allows me to get some... okay, good. I will admit I am a little surprised that I have unemployment problems. So again, there won't be too much except for my farm in terms of... There we go. Yeah, botanists, medic. Oh wait, majority of these are going to be tourists. Oh, there we go. So I have 20 colonists with a tourist trait, 60 tourist applicants. So if I ever need more money, I can always bring on some more tourists. I think what I'm going to do though is a lot of my living space right now is being taken up with these tourist applicants. So I think I'm going to try and digest what I have, and we're going to focus on filling up our... I'm going to focus a little bit on filling up the, what shall I say, filling up the productive capacity of these areas. And the future plan is...
New colonists have arrived.
Looks like we got a few folks. Yeah, so a few of the tourists are heading back now, which I am totally fine with. So we'll send the Prometheus back. Holy Dome. With the further expansion of the colony, there is a petition among our growing religious community to proclaim Mars a holy land. This is a sensitive subject that could stir some controversy in the colony. Such a great idea. Hallelujah! All religious get a morale boost, and all the other colonists get a morale penalty. Mars is for all humans, regardless of their beliefs. All religious get a morale penalty. All other colonists get a morale boost. We are not the Church of the New Ark. This is absurd. Religion has no place on Mars. Comfort of all religious colonies is sent to 0. Non-religious colonists get a morale boost. So, in this case, I'm going to accept the hit to the religious. Holy smokes. We just got a lot of power out of nowhere. Oh, it's because the machine parts factory is only working at certain times. Okay. I think I'm probably going to need another batch of polymers before too long. Actually, yes. So, is going to be for the construction of Site B. This is just in case. Alright. And as you can see, we've shot our funding, but actually, you know what? I don't need to be so hasty. What I can do is I can wait for Prometheus 1 to return to Earth, and from there, I'll be able to bring up the next batch of polymers. But I think this is a great place for us to call it a day. This was a bit longer than I was expecting, actually. It's almost 4 hours. I actually need to get, I'm gonna be a little short of sleep tonight, but this was very pleasant. As always, these are experimental streams. I'm trying to do something that'll let me take it easy, not get too excited, just enjoy the relaxation of a game and work through what's going on. And I think what's very nice to report is when I started this series, part of it was to deal with some, difficulties at work and just find a way of calming down. And things are going all right now, actually. I found a little bit of equilibrium in terms of my status at work. I've got a nice big monitor. It's a delight to play the game on this, and I wish I could find a slightly better way of sharing it with you, but I'll see if there's something else that I can do to improve the quality of the broadcast. But on top of that, there's a couple of little personal milestones that I hit. There's still going to be some more work for me to do, I think. But I got over a big hurdle in terms of some of the work that I wanted to do, and I noticed that with just the way that this weekend wound up turning out, I'm actually feeling a lot better in terms of where all of this sits. I'm being a little more productive. I'm getting a little bit more done. I don't have that cloud hanging over, and so I'm able to make the most of the time. So this was focusing a little bit more on the game. The reason why I'm reporting that is I hope for a lot of you, you're going to be in a similar case, that things are turning out for you, and if things are not as good as they could be, I hope that changes for you soon. One last thing I'll say, for those of you who do like these sorts of things, and of course if you're listening at the very end, usually that means that you liked it. But I am a little curious if you do get something out of these, if you enjoy just listening in, having something a little more relaxed, let me know. I'm curious if I should be doing more of these, or if there's something else that you'd find more useful. That can maybe mean another game, or slightly different style in terms of the way that I'm formatting these particular broadcasts. They are probably my most experimental, and I really enjoy doing them, but if there's something that I can do that'll make it more worthwhile for you, I'd love to know. Anyways, have a lovely evening. Oh, actually, I'm also curious whether or not you guys are interested in seeing Green Planet. I may not pick it up right away. Traditionally, if somebody donated something to the cast, I would usually play it, so I tend not to do a lot of these on VODs, but if there's sufficient interest, I can maybe, mention on some of the other broadcasts, hey, I'm not quite at a point where I'm going to pick this up yet. I don't play Surviving Mars except to do these, but if you really do want to see it, I can see whether or not there's enough interest to justify either picking it up myself or seeing if somebody wants to bring it up for the greater good. Sorry to end it on that note, actually. It shouldn't be for asking for stuff. This is definitely a matter of finding out whether or not you want to see it. But until then, thank you for watching. Let me know if you'd like to see more of these. And I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are.